Hello again, students. So today I'm going to be showing you how to create your own Greek vase. So you're going to be designing your vase using a top pattern and a bottom pattern as seen on this sheet right here. So the first thing you're going to want to do is you're going to fold your paper in half, hot dog style. So this is going to be if you're using either templates 2 or 3. But for template 1, you're going to want to fold the paper the other way. That way you have enough space to where you can cut it out. So as you can see, the first thing, you want to fold your paper in half and go ahead and line up the template on the side of the paper just like that. Make sure that the side with the folded part is facing to your left. Next, you're going to want to trace your template. So just use your pencil and go all the way around the edge. And I used a pen here just so you can see a little bit better in the video. After you do that, you can go ahead and start cutting out your template. I'm going to speed it up here just a little bit. When you're cutting, make sure you're cutting nice and carefully. Go all the way to the edges so you have a nice clean cut. And when it's done, go ahead and lay it down, fold it out, and you've created a symmetrical vase. Next, you need to choose what background and what patterns you want for your vase. So we have lots of different combinations you can do. I use 2 or 3 different patterns, and then you also need to choose either one of the 4 Greek myths we've talked about in class, either Hercules, or the Herculean strength, the Midas touch, Achilles heel, or Pandora's box. Then I start my first top pattern. This is the one on the example sheet here. You're kind of just making a bunch of T's, and you're alternating upside down T's and regular T's all the way across your paper. Then I add another line at the bottom. I really should have used my straight edge. That way I made a it was pretty straight, but it could have been straighter. Next, I add my second pattern. So this is right on the neck of the vase. So I just do some zigzag lines first. Then I go above those lines. I add another line underneath, and I fill it in. If you're filling in a pattern like this, make sure to fill it in really well so you don't see any brown spaces or orange spaces behind the area you're coloring in. Next, I use my straight edge again, and this is going to be the main part of our design or vase. So the myth I decided to choose was Pandora's box. I start in the middle of my vase, and I work my way across to the right, just adding lots of different details, lots of dots. The reason I started in the center was so that I know I have a symmetrical design that way. So I have 5 boxes in total, 1 in the middle, 2 on each side. Now I start designing my bottom pattern, and this one was the most difficult one I could find to do, so I wanted to do that one, really kind of test myself. Again, I'm using my straight edge to help me make nice straight lines. Whatever you do to one side, you do to the other. That way it has symmetrical balance. Finally, I add one last line at the bottom to close off my design. So now I've created my Greek vase using 3 patterns, as well as choosing a story to illustrate in the middle. Now the last part of our project is actually gluing it to our background. And in terms of colors, you have lots of different choices that we're going to give you. This one I used blue because I really liked how that looked. So once you've chosen your background, we're going to have you go ahead and use that glue stick we talked about and make sure it's adjusted enough to where you can see it coming up but not too far up. So there I kind of push it back down because I knew it was too far up. So you don't want a whole lot of glue getting all over the place. So you're going to glue the back of your vase. Make sure you go all the way to the edges. That way they don't get caught and they're not sticking up once you glue it down. Once you finish gluing, go ahead and put it in the middle of your paper. I'm going to press down, go all the way to the edges, make sure it's nice and flat. You can even use the side of your hand if you want. Just press down. And that's how you create your Greek vase.